everyone, my name is Nurdini and I will present chapter 1, which is introduction. So our group chose case study on the Pickids vaccine among children. Firstly, we must to know what is Pickids. Pickids is a name of immunization program for children aged 5 to 12 years old created by the Minister of Health Malaysia. Why they create the Pickids? First, Malaysia begins the transition phase to endemic, making children now more at risk getting COVID-19 infection. This is due to the children not receiving adequate protection compared with other age groups vaccinated. Number 2 is to prevent disease such as deadly Omicron variant and multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. And lastly is to enable children to return to normal activities such as play days, daycare, school and many more. There are 3 objectives of the study. Number 1 is to identify the importance of vaccine on children. Number 2 is to determine the effects of vaccine COVID-19 on children. And number 3 is to identify public reaction and action towards the Pickids program. Next is significance of study. Number 1, we can know the Pickids program vaccine for children aged 5 to 12 years old is well received by parents, guardians and public community. And we also can know how many children in Malaysia have been vaccinated and whether it has side effects after being vaccinated. And we can also know the point of views of parents, guardians and public community on the program Pickids. And lastly, we also can know is the vaccine is effective for children. Lastly is scope of the study. Number 1, this study involves the participation of 100 parents or guardians and non-parents in Malaysia. Number 2, the data collected via questionnaires using Google Forms, and the method we use to ask question is descriptive analysis, drop-down methods and linear scale methods. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Siti Haimatul Binti Tamrin. I will talk about chapter 2, which is literature review. First is the definition of vaccines, importance of vaccine on children, effects of vaccine on children, and the last one is the public reaction towards the Pickids program. According to the WHO, vaccines are simple, safe, and effective way of protecting the body against harmful diseases before it coming into contact with them. It uses people's body natural defenses to build resistance to specific infections and makes the immune system stronger. Vaccines train the immune system to create antibodies just as it does when it's exposed to a disease. However, because vaccines contain only kill or weaken forms of germs like viruses or bacteria, they do not cause the disease or put people at risk of its complications. Most of vaccines are given by injections, but some are given orally by mouth or sprayed into the nose. Second is the importance of vaccines on children. Vaccinating children has benefits beyond giving the virus for people to infect. There are several reasons why it is important for children to be vaccinated, and parents should not downplay COVID seriousness in children. It's likely children will be exposed to COVID-19 at some point if they haven't been already. Therefore, COVID-19 vaccines helps prevent kids from getting severely sick and from long-term complications or even death, such as Omicron variant and its complications, namely multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children or MISC. Third is the effects of vaccines on children. Vaccines are designed to give the body immunity without the dangers of getting the disease. It's common to experience some mild to moderate side effects when receiving vaccinations. According to Wisner, the trial data found that the most common side effect in kids were pain on the arm where the injection had taken place, feeling tired, headache, redness, and swelling at the injection site. Besides the most common side effect, there is less common side effects that some of the children will getting flu-like symptoms, the ones that make kids feel sick, such as having fever, head diarrhea, experience vomiting, head chills, experience muscle pain, and joint pain. Last but not least, the public reaction towards the Pickids program. Deputy Health Minister Datuk Dr. Nuraisya has expressed concern over the attitude of parents who refuse to allow their children to receive the COVID-19 vaccines, as children are vulnerable to complications of the multi-system inflammatory syndrome, or MISC, if infected with the virus. However, Dr. Nuraisya asked parents to allow their children to be vaccinated because the percentage of children who get MISC symptoms after taking the COVID-19 was low. According to him, 34.9% of children in the country have been vaccinated under the National COVID-19 Immunizations Program for Children Pickids from February until March 18. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuraisya Binti Rosidi. Next, I will explain about chapter 3, which is methodology. In this research, the researcher used the quantitative method to collect the respondent information and data. Quantitative method focused on objective measurements and statistical, mathematical, or numerical analysis of data acquired through polls, questionnaire, and surveys. Next is research instrument. The instrument used to collect the data was a survey in a Google form, and the survey instrument will be closed-ended question. A set of questionnaire containing 14 questions is divided into 4 sections. Next is respondent of the study. The respondent of the study were parents or guardians and non-parents. A total number of 100 respondents consists of 46 parents or guardians and 54 non-parents are involved in this survey. Next part is data analysis. Data analysis is the systematic application of quantitative and logical technique used by the researcher for defining the data scope, modularizing the data structure, condensing the data representation, illustrating the data via tables and graphs, evaluating numerical outcomes, probability data, and deriving meaningful conclusions. The researcher used 3 methods, which is descriptive analysis, drop-down method, and linear scale method. Descriptive analysis assists researcher in summarizing data and identifying patterns. There are 2 common types of descriptive analysis used in this research, which is percentage and frequency. Example of questions in this research that use the descriptive analysis are in section A, where demographic information such as personal information and age are being asked. We can see that the percentage of parents or guardian are 46%, while non-parents are 54%. Secondly is a drop-down method. A drop-down question is a type of closed-ended question in which respondent can choose one answer option from a list of choices provided in a drop-down menu. Drop-down menu can save respondent time by avoiding scrolling and allowing them to quickly access the questionnaire. Thirdly is linear scale method. A linear scale is a type of rating system that measures feelings, level of satisfaction, attitudes, and perception using numbers. The linear numeric scale is well known because of the popular rating system of 0 to 5, with 5 being the highest or strongly agreed. In this questionnaire, the researcher implemented a linear scale method in section D to analyze respondents' rating towards their option on the extent to which they agreed on the uptake of COVID-19 vaccine for the children. In conclusion, Chapter 3 discussed the research procedure, instrument, and methodology that we used in this study. Finally, all the data was gathered and analyzed.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nursyazwani and I will present about Chapter 4, which is finding and discussion. There is specific purpose for the discussion section, which is to explain and analyze any new ideas or understanding that came as a consequence of the study compared to what was previously known. The research question and literature analysis in the introduction will always be linked to the debate. The discussion highlights how the researchers' study help the reader better comprehend the research question. Next, the data provide aim the identifying the effectiveness of the Pickids Programme among the children and public reaction to the importance of taking vaccine for the children. These findings were divided into essential topics obtained from surveys received from 100 people randomly selected. Achieving the priority for this objective is to identify the effectiveness of the Pickids vaccine among the children. There are several issues that can be further relating to the revised journal, including importance of vaccine, effect vaccine towards children, public reaction and action towards this program, advantage and disadvantage of this program, and lastly, cases in which the effect of COVID-19 occur. First analysis views is descriptive analysis. There are 4 types in this section. First section A, demographic information. For question 1, the graph shows the result of status of respondents who answered this survey. From the graph below, 54 of the respondents are not categorized as the parent and 46 respondents are categorized as the parent. For question 2, the graph shows the result of respondents who have children aged between 5 to 12 years old. The result shows that 68 people out of 100 respondents did not have children aged between 5 to 12 years old, while the remaining, a total of 32 respondents, have children aged between 5 to 12 years old. Next, section B, Pickids Programme. For question 1, the graph below show whether the respondent know about the Pickids Programme or not. Based on the result shown in the graph, total of 64 respondents knew about Pickids Programme organized by the government, while 36 respondents state that they did not know about this program. For question 2, the graph shows the respondent result about the Pickids Programme being suitable for children. From the finding made, the majority of respondents agree with this program, which is a total of 73 respondents. The remaining respondents who answer this survey disagree with, which is 27 of respondents. For question 3, the graph shows that respondents think the government should implement the Pickids Programme again in the future. Based on the data obtained from researchers, the majority of respondents feel that the government should implement this program again for some reason, with consent of 66%. In contrast, the remaining of 34 respondents disagree with this program should be held again in the future.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nuramira Marsufah and I will explain about section C of finding and discussion, which is about vaccine. There are 4 questions using descriptive analysis. The first question is, do you think children need to take the vaccine? 62 answered yes and 38 answered no. Question 2, do you think the vaccine provide good immunization for children's health? 69 answered yes and 31 answered no. Question 3, do kids or children you know have side effects after taking the vaccine? 45 answered yes and 55 answered no. The next question, are the side effects short-term or long-term? 62 of respondents answered short-term and 39 answered long-term. The next section is about public reaction and action, which also use descriptive analysis. The question is, will the important information about vaccines encourage and convince parents to allow their children to take the vaccine? 88 of them answered yes and 12 answered no. The next question uses linear scale analysis, which consists of 4 or more linear type items. The first question is, do you agree that the COVID-19 vaccine should be given to children aged 5 until 12 years old? Majority of respondents answered neutral, which is 37% of the respondents. Next method is drop-down analysis, which is close-ended question with multiple choices for the responder. The first question is, what are the reasons that cause parents to disagree with the COVID-19 vaccine for their children? Most of the respondents say that they are concerned about the safety of the vaccine. Question 2. What actions can be taken to convince parents to accept vaccination for children? Majority of 66 respondents answered handling campaign to build awareness. Question 3. What are the importance for children to take the vaccines for their future? And mostly agrees that it is to build strong immune system for children. In conclusion, there are 100 respondents and we had identified that most of them agree in the implementation of the Pickids Programme. However, there are also people that disagree and stands with their opinion that vaccine should not be given to children. That's all from me. Thank you.
Conclusion. The objective of the study was to find out the effectiveness of the vaccine on children in terms of health and future has been achieved. The study also aimed to find out the response of parents related to the issue of vaccination to their children experience after vaccination. According to the data, research can determine the support of vaccine injection to children among unique admitted students and parents based on the data collected. Research may provide some tips and suggestions that parents may be able to take to increase understanding and information to send children to take vaccine injection for stamina and to be able to ensure their health and in the future. In conclusion, this study is considered successful because all objectives have been achieved. Recommendation 1. Parents need to get more detailed and accurate information at the clinic or on the office portal of the Ministry of Health Malaysia. Is to enable society to be more advanced in accessing information to social media now with quality and reliable sources so as not to create misunderstanding in analyzing something with a mindset that is considered simple. Handling campaign to build awareness about the benefit and safety of children vaccination and Pickids Programme. To build awareness on the benefits and safety of childhood vaccination can be taken seriously in order to gain public awareness of the importance of vaccination on children now.